Hello guys, welcome back to Money is Blind podcast. I'm your host Prasoon and I'm blind and I'm okay with it. I'm not happy, but I'm okay with it. So, as I record this show now, I would like to say that I am more than impressed with myself because I am doing it straight for the fifth day in a row. This is the fifth episode of the podcast, and I have only published the first show in using Buzzsprout, the podcast hosting service that I chose. But I am happy that I started podcast at last. So what is today's episode going to be? About my vision, how I became termed or diagnosed as a legally blind person. That's the story for today's show. So when I was browsing through the Finder app in my MacBook, I just came across this Pages document that I had created back in March of 2022. So let me just take it. Yeah, this is how the story goes. Everything started when I noticed a black colored flying object. At first I thought it was a fly flying in front of my eyes, and it was back in 2002. That's exactly 20 years, not exactly, that is almost 20 years from today, 20 years back from today. And I think it was the month of April or May, and I was at Kakinad, a school in Kakinad, where I had gone to write my entrance examination, medical entrance examination. Yeah, and I was preparing, going through my notes. The exam had not yet started. My father was standing in the portico, and the school was near a railway crossing, and I could see a goods train going through the rail tracks, and suddenly when I looked at the building, I saw this black colored fly, and I tried to shoo it. I tried to move away from it by waving my hands, and I tried everything, but it was not going anywhere. So I thought it was something. Then it was then that I realized it was something which is wrong with my eyes. So I thought I will ignore it because it was not bothering me that much. I noticed it only when I looked on a light background or at the sky, or when I was staring at a white background. Yeah. So I ignored it. I went into the exam. I did pretty good in the entrance examination, and that's how I got into Calicut Medical College under merit, Yeah, my rank was like in 400. Yeah. And I got admission into one of the best medical colleges in Kerala, Calicut, or we say it as Kozhikode Medical College. And that was in 2003. And everything went fine. But immediately after getting admission into this medical college, I consulted an ophthalmologist. He said it is a floater. So that's what they called it, a floater. And he said it was nothing serious. I needn't bother about it. He prescribed some medicines. I think it was vitamin supplements or some kind of pills. that I needed to take for almost 1 or 2 months. I don't remember for how long, but I took it and it didn't go away. The floater was still there. Yeah, let's fast forward to the third year in Calicut Medical College during my MBBS years. Oh, those were the good days of my life. How cool would it be going back to college, being so young back again? I think I was 21 years then. I think it was during my preparation for the third year public examination. I think it was the Park SPM textbook that I was reading. I was reading very fast. I usually read very fast. So, and this time, when I tried to read with my right eye, I was not able to read. It was the first time that I found that I had a problem with my right eye. When I closed my left eye and I tried to read with my right eye, I was not able to do that. But when I closed my right eye with my right hand and then tried to read with my left eye, the good eye, there was no problem. I was reading as usual. It was an aha moment for me. Yeah, but it was sad too. That was the day when I realized that I had a problem with my right eye, and all these years I was using my left eye to read, to drive, and for everything, and there was not even any other symptom. I hadn't developed any squint or lazy eye, as they call it locally. There was no symptoms. Even I hadn't realized it. When I tried to read with both my eyes open, I had no difficulty, but the problems started when I tried to read with my right eye. I consulted a doctor and he said it's a rare form of macular degeneration. Yeah, those were his words. So, being a medical student then, I did what every other medical student did. I googled it. This was, I think, in 2006. So when I looked into the literature at the Learning Resource Center, which is a building where there were many computers with internet connection in our library back in 2006, that's where we had internet access those days. So I googled it, I read about it, then I found out that it was a bilateral condition, and the type of macular degeneration that I had, it was called Stargardt's disease, because it was a juvenile onset macular degeneration, which means it started in the early 20s. So at that time, the diagnosis was macular degeneration. It's nothing serious, but the loss of vision would be only central, and usually it'll sometimes it could subside by itself, sometimes it could stay like that forever, because I didn't know when it had started, and my left eye was still going very good. It was doing pretty good, so I had no other concerns. So after making the diagnosis, I got a prescription for taking zeaxanthins, luteins, and flavonoids, and all types of vitamin E, vitamin A. I started taking all those things, and my father, who was a huge believer of natural medicines like Ayurveda, he had consulted a doctor, an Ayurvedic doctor, and he also bought me some pills which I had to take every day and night. I don't even remember for how long I took those medicines. even though I was studying uh, modern medicine. But years passed by. I passed the exam. I did pretty good in all the practicals, the theory exam also. After completing the course in 2008, I had to do 1 year internship. Then years passed by. I went for general practice and started making some money, some quick bucks. Now those were the days of doing night duties and earning money pretty fast. I used to drive those days. I used to go to hospitals in the old Maruti 800 car that we had. We sold it for like 26,000 rupees. Oh, that's another sad story that I have to share with you, but not in this episode. In 2012, I got into government service. 1 year later, in 2013, August, I got married. But all these years, my right eye vision was getting degraded day by day, but not day by day, I must say year by year, because it was very, very slow. But sometime after my marriage, I started seeing some difficulty uh, in my left eye as well, because the clarity of vision that was decreasing. It was like watching through a fog, or I must say, it was like watching when a smoke was there, watching through the smoke. That's how sometimes I was able to see when I used my left eye, the good eye. But not always. Only when I stared at the sky, only when I looked at leaves of trees which were very far away from me. Only at sometimes. But that was the time that I realized that something wrong is starting, something bad is happening in my left eye as well. I then during the time of my marriage, I was not able to drive the car because I had difficulty understanding the potholes in the roads. But at that time, I had no difficulty in signing papers, the registrars, or reading papers and all. That was not a problem for me. That is way back in 2013, like 9 years ago. Then some more years passed by. It was 2016. My son was born back in July of 2016, and that was a very stressful event. Oh my god, I used to have another blog. It was called papaternity.com, and I have written a few blog posts on that blog, but don't search for it. I stopped that topic because my idea was to write a blog on becoming a good parent who was also a doctor. But the delivery process, he was admitted at the neonatal ICU for 7 days immediately after his birth. And my vision, I think, during that time was a bit more bad. Maybe it was due to the stressful situation through which we were going through at that time. And when my son was 3 months old, my father and my mother and some friends of my wife, they convinced me to take an Ayurvedic treatment again at Wayanad, and we went with the whole family, stayed there in Wayanad for 2 months, and Oh God, those days, I wish I can forget those days. Like if it was possible to press a delete key and forget it everything, I would have done it. But that's not possible, right? Those days, I had to take this medicine, put some medicines like honey or something in my eyes, and it was extremely painful and irritating, and some kind of medicine on my head. I had to drink some medicines. The diet was very, very, very restrictive, and I somehow managed to go through it for 2 months, and then I stopped because I had no idea what kind of medicine they were using, and I was not seeing even a tiny bit of improvement in my vision. And my conscience didn't allow me to continue the treatment, so I stopped. That's when I decided to get a full diagnosis, understand what's going inside my eyes, get to know in detail what's wrong with my eyes. Is it just the macular degeneration, or because macular degeneration, it only affects the central vision. So when the central vision gets affected to a severe degree, then only at that time reading and writing and everything becomes difficult. But I had noticed some vision changes, some loss in clarity, even in my peripheral vision. The My vision loss was not just limited to central vision, and that's why I thought it was something else. So after stopping the treatment, after discontinuing the treatment at Wayanad, I decided to get a full diagnosis, and so I booked a flight along with my brother to All India Institute of Medical Sciences in New Delhi. And my batchmate Abdul Shamir was doing his junior residency. No, I think it was senior residency that he was doing in ophthalmology at the Rajendra Prasad Institute of Ophthalmology, Research Center of Ophthalmology at AIMS, New Delhi. And that's where we went. We spent like a week there. Every day I had to go through several tests, and all those tests, oh my God, shining a big, huge lamp with such bright light through a lens focused into my eyes. That was horrible and damn right painful. I wish I could forget all those days. After seeing the head of department and consulting many other pioneers in the field of ophthalmology and retinal degenerative diseases, they came to a diagnosis of cone road dystrophy. And I even had to do a genetic test to find out which genes were making this condition go bad. So I did that test at Motilal Hospital in New Delhi during the same visit itself. So what is cone road dystrophy? It is another type of degenerative disease. It is just like retinitis pigmentosa, but in retinitis pigmentosa, the rods are getting degenerated first and then the cones. So the rods, which are the pigments which are responsible for dark vision or night vision, they get lost in the early days. And then cone vision, that means the cones which are responsible for bright light, color vision, the clarity of vision, that gets lost in the end. So cone road dystrophy is exactly opposite to retinitis pigmentosa, and it is not like macular degeneration where the degenerative changes are just limited to the macula, which is the most central part, the most The best part of the retina where the maximum clarity of vision is attained, that's macula. So this is nothing like macular degeneration. The rest of the retina is also affected. And here the cones are initially affected in the early days. That's why I started losing my clarity of vision and the color vision initially. And then the roads are affected. So for understanding this in a better way, you have to first understand that there are like 20 million rod pigments in one eye and only 2 million cod pigments in one eye. So it's like there are 10 times the number of cone receptors in one eye. So we have only a few number of cone cells which are responsible for our perception of color vision, bright light, for reading, driving, everything. For everything we need our cones. For everything that we do in the daytime we need cone. And for everything in which dark there is darkness, or where the amount of light is very low, where there is dim light, we need rods. So that's the predominant type of receptors or pigments in our retina, and that is not getting degenerated initially in cone rod dystrophy, and that's why my night vision was not affected in the early days. But I do have problems walking alone in the night time. But if you ask me, I can see better even today in the night time when compared to the daytime. If you ask me to walk to some place in the daytime, if that is a place that I don't know, if that's a place that I'm not familiar with, I won't be able to do that. Particularly when it comes to climbing downstairs. Climbing stairs up, that's almost manageable, but climbing downstairs, I can't find the edge of the stairs, and it feels like I'm going to fall down. And at that time I lost my confidence, and at that time I feel like I am helpless. But then I think about the purpose of my life. I come back, I motivate myself, I learn some tricks which helps me to go through those times. And it was after, or I must say it was during the New Delhi visit, that I confirmed that I was a rare one in a million. Because this condition, cone rod dystrophy, affects only 1 in like 10 lakh persons. It's such a rare condition. The exact opposite condition, retinitis pigmentosa, is very common. It affects like 1 in 4,000 persons. But this condition, that's rare. And if you ask me, the genetic mapping I done, they found out some mutations, some problems in the PROM1 gene. Yeah, that's the name of the gene, which has made my life, which has changed my life. Yeah, that's the way I like to acknowledge it. And ever since making the diagnosis, I wonder why this condition affected me. I'm not sure. There is no history of such an illness in my family. Maybe because they haven't done this genetic test. There were history of a vision impairment in my grandmother, on my father's side, but they didn't had. I don't think they have gone through a proper medical checkup and they have a proper diagnosis. So I'm not sure about the family history. I hope this genetic condition doesn't run in my family through me. Especially, I don't want this condition to go to my son. We have run some tests on him, but so far he is okay. But he has a problem in his refractive power. The left and right eyes, one eye is normal, the other isn't. But his retinal examinations were normal, and we hope it stays like that forever. And ever since the diagnosis of cone rod degeneration was made, I thought I had to do something. Wearing polarized sunglasses, yeah, that's a good thing that I need to do a lot more. I often carry a pair in my car glove box, and I have one in my backpack all the time. It's very difficult for me to look into bright light or even to stare at the sky during the daytime. But with the polarized lenses, it's okay. If you come and stand in front of me, and if you were my batchmate or someone who I know personally, I wouldn't be able to recognize your face because I can see only your silhouette, a shadow, like as if someone is standing there. But only if you're standing 1 or 2 feet away from me. If you are standing more than 2 feet away from me, I won't be able to recognize or even realize that there is some person standing there. I cannot read paper. I cannot write. Yeah, I can write, of course, but I won't be able to do it if you ask me to write on a straight line. My signatures looks different every time. Not every time, but sometimes. I have many difficulties. Yeah, what are the difficulties that I face with my vision? That will be covered in another episode. Is that okay, guys? Yeah. So this is the story of how I was diagnosed with the rarest of the rare eye condition, chondrodystrophy. So now you know that I'm special. Now you know that you have to press on the follow button. Now you know that you have to share my story with your friends, your visually impaired or legally blind or blind friends who are searching for motivation, who are looking for inspiration. Tell them my story. Tell them I started 3 businesses. Tell them I have multiple streams of income. And tell them that they should listen to this podcast, which is called Money is Blind. So I hope you like this one. It's getting late. Today is December 1st. It's World AIDS Day. We ran a promotion on dofoodie.com today, wishing our users a happy World AIDS Day. And it's almost 11:20 p.m. now. It's time for me to sleep. So I'll see you in the next one. And always remember, dream big. Work hard till you attain your dreams. Till then, make me your guide. Let me guide you in the right way. Follow the podcast. Share with your friends. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.